Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are at 21 weeks, March 16th, 2001. Today is the day I was due, because I was born February 26th. I was born, I think, at 37 and 3, so I was born early, but on time. I was still considered term. But yes, March 16th is my actual due date. Still would have been a Pisces. Last night, the baby kicked the mess out of me. Went on a long 5-mile walk today, did 12,000 steps. It wore me out. I took a 6-hour nap afterwards. March 17th, 2002. Just chilled today. I decided to do Tae-Bo instead of walking. March 18th, 2003. So we had our midwife appointment. We had the same annoying midwife. I think I talked about her in my last video. I'm not really sure. But yeah, so I have pregnancy brains. I don't remember what I said last week or whatever. But basically, I did tell you guys about it a little bit. But anyway, Chase, will you please? So she, basically this time, she came into the room. First of all, before I even came, I was having anxiety about going because I was just like, ugh, I don't really feel like dealing with like any nonsense. And I'm like, I shouldn't have to feel like this, like to my appointment that I'm paying for. So she came into the room and she was like, hi, like super bubbly to me, but she didn't even speak to Blake. And I noticed that right away, and that really irritated me. It's almost like when someone does that, it feels like a backhanded compliment. Because it's like, you're talking to me, you're being nice to me, but like my husband, who's a part of this journey with me, is right here and you're ignoring him. Like, what the fuck is your problem? And so I just kind of like observed. I was just like, okay. So she was like super bubbly to me. And then she kept saying words like delicious. Like if I was like, and she asked me, am I feeling the baby move? She'd like, are you feeling the baby move? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, delicious. I'm like, okay. I just don't appreciate someone who disrespects my husband right in front of me. It's just like, he didn't do nothing to you. Like, what is the problem? At some point, she asked me if I had any questions, and I said yes, and I asked some questions, and then she asked me, do you have any more questions? And I said no, and I turned to Blake and I said, do you have any questions? Before he could finish saying no, she like changed the subject. So anyway, are you feeling the baby move? Like that, like just changed, like I don't really care to hear his questions. And I'm like, he's the customer, he's the client too, he's the father. Like, I didn't make this baby by myself. Like, what are you doing? And I peeped that, and I didn't say nothing. Okay. And then at the end of the meeting, by the way, the baby is measuring 21 centimeters from pubic bone up my belly. Like, they measure your bump? Yeah, the baby was measuring 21 centimeters. So anyway, so we were leaving and he tells me I'm gonna go to the bathroom. So I said, okay. She overheard him, and like the first time she speaks to him is her saying, oh, there's 3 bathrooms that way. He's like, okay. So the first bathroom we see, which is the bathroom that like the women use to pee in a cup, he is about to go into it. And she's like, oh, keep walking. And he's like, well, this one doesn't have anyone in it. Just keep walking. There's 2 down the hall. And it's just like, he's like, okay. I'm like, babe, I think this one is for like the women, the patients. He's like, oh, okay. But it's like, she's not articulating that. She's not saying, hey, so we're leaving. And she just doesn't articulate. She just doesn't articulate like what she means. Like, okay, if I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, the last time when she was like, you know, you need somebody to help you in the house, it kind of like, it came off very biased, like, oh, my husband's not going to help me. But maybe she just meant like get a doula, because she was asking me if I was going to get a doula. But articulate that. It's like, oh no, I'm not talking about you not helping her. It's just that a doula would be able to help both of you because you'll both be tired. Like, that's something you would say to like clarify what you mean. But she's kind of just like, just had this like dismissive, like kind of arrogant attitude about, like, I said what I said, kind of. But like, if I don't understand what you're saying, what is the point of you talking? Like, you know? And then, so she didn't say to him like, hey, oh, that's the patient bathroom. There's 2 more down for guests if you don't mind using those. Oh, okay, thank you. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, just keep going. Just keep going. Like when there's an open bathroom and he doesn't know why he can't use it. Like, you know, and then to not speak to him the entire time, it's just this weird animosity. It's like, what the fuck? So when after the appointment, we get in the car and Blake's like, is it me? Like, am I acting away? Because he purposely didn't even speak. And he felt like he couldn't even ask questions because he felt like she was going to be weird to him. So I was just like, what did I say? I was just like, what did I say? I was just like, not really trying to like talk about it because we had our anatomy scan after the fact. And I was like, I'm just trying to like enjoy today. So I hear you, but let's just try to enjoy the rest of the day. So, okay, we go to the anatomy scan, which was at the hospital with that hospital's MFM, which is maternal fetal medicine. We got to see the baby. She was moving like crazy. Like, so, okay, we reached half baked. And I decided to buy cookie dough for myself because it was my way of celebrating being half baked. Cookie dough that's pasteurized, don't worry. And I had eaten like the rest of it that morning. She was moving like a crazy girl. I was like, oh my God, what if it's my fault? Because she's like, shit, she's moving around all crazy. What if she's moving like that because I ate all that cookie dough and she's having a sugar high? I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, baby. She was just moving around. She was jigging. She wouldn't stay still. Her arms are moving up and down. She was just like, ooh, and her legs are kicking. And the tech was like, oh my God, she won't stay still. Oh my God. And I was just like, it's probably my fault. And so she got some cute little pictures. I'll show them. She's so cute. Look at her little profile. She's got the perfect little profile. I feel like her profile looks like mine. Like, she's got the perfect forehead with the perfect little bridge of the nose. The perfect little lips and a little chin, like how I have a little chin. I was like, oh, she looked like honestly like my mom's profile too. She looks kind of like my mom. I know it's like a 2D image, it's like a black and white silhouette, but it just like, that looks like my mom. It's so funny. But yeah, I hope she looks like me. Obviously, I want her to look like Blake too, but I hope she looks like me. So anyway, I hope because I want her to be a mini me. Scan was cool. We got to see all her stuff. We got to see like her kidney function, her heart flow. She had no abnormalities. She got little feet. She got little hands. And she would not open her hands. She was just like, no. They were trying to get a picture of her hands, and she was just like, psych, no. Like, I'm like, oh, you're just a trickster. You're just a little jokester child. The tech put my phone number in wrong when she put like, my number starts with 914. She put like 904. And I was just like, and so she's like, oh, I took 100 pictures. I have to make sure you get them. And so I'm thinking I'm getting 100 pictures. And she's like, well, because I got your number wrong, I'll just send a few. So I'm thinking I'm getting gypped. Like, damn, I'm spending all this money and I'm getting gypped because you guys aren't. I'm getting gypped because you didn't put my number in right. So I'm only getting a few. So she sent me 10, mostly like the foot, the face, the profile, like, you know, stuff like that. But then the next day, March 3rd, 19, 20, and 4, I'm at work talking to my mom. I'm telling her about how the appointments went. And my mom was getting frustrated because she was like, why is this midwife being weird? Like, I don't want, God forbid, she's your midwife the day you deliver, and then I'm going to have to tell her about herself. Like, you need to nip that in the bud, like, now. And you should call MFM and find out why you didn't get 100 pictures. You're paying a lot of money. Like, so I was like, all right, fine. So I called the midwifery first, left the message for the office manager. I talked to her, and at first she kind of sounded like she was just like, Couldn't tell she was really listening to me. And I even said to her, look, I'm a nurse. Like, I know the culture. I know how it is. Like, I don't want to be considered like a problem patient. Like, where you're like, oh, watch out for Miss Blake. Like, you know, she's gonna, you know, do this and she's gonna do that. Oh, make sure. I mean, part of it, I kind of do want you to be like that because it's like, yeah, like, I have expectations. I have standards. You need to uphold to those standards and not be fucking around with me. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't want to be that patient that everyone finds like as a difficult patient. Like, I'm not difficult. Give me common courtesy and respect. Like, to me and my husband. Like, what the hell? So she called and she's like, oh no, I promise it won't be like that. I promise that won't happen. Like, I'm like, okay. So she's like, is it okay if I talk to the midwife? And I was like, yeah, it's fine. I want you to talk to her. I want to find out what her deal is. Or if she's like, well, I really think she isn't aware of like how she's coming off. And I said, okay, that's fine. Well, she needs to be aware, because you need to know what you need to like be aware of how you're coming off. Like you just do. Because I shouldn't have to come into my appointment walking on eggshells. And she's just like, I'm going to be myself. Like, no, if you get to be yourself, I get to be myself. So, and this is me being myself. I'm going to hold you to task about the way you're acting. I don't appreciate it. So that was that. And then I called MFM to clarify about those 100 pictures. And they're like, oh no, those are diagnostic pictures. We don't usually give the patient those pictures. I know you're a nurse, so like I gave you extra pictures. I usually only give like 5, but I gave you like 10. And those extra pictures, those 100, I know I mentioned 100 pictures, but I just meant like I took 100 pictures for the doctor. We don't usually give those out. I was like, oh, okay. So she clarified with that. She's like, I'm sorry if you're disappointed. I'm like, no, I'm disappointed because I wanted all the pictures, but I guess had it in my head that I was getting 100 pictures and I didn't get them because my phone number was wrong, not because I'm like disappointed in how, my appointment went. So that was that. So I felt like I was being a problem child that day. I was being a problem child. I was like, I'm going to call these people because your insurance covers quite a bit of things, but it doesn't cover everything. And it's like, if I'm going to pay the money, like I want to have good service. Not even just that, I'm having a baby and it's my first baby. I want to be having good service. And at one point I was like, I should just go to my own hospital because I know like at my own hospital, I wouldn't have this problem. But again, I want to have my privacy. Like I don't want to mix personal with business, and it's just such a vulnerable personal experience. I don't want to mix it with my workplace because I have to come back here, especially if like someone does get on my nerves, because there are some residents that annoy me. There are some nurses that I'm just like, I do not want to be my nurse, and I do not want you to be my nurse. And I don't want you to see my vagina, and I don't want you to see my titties, and I don't want you, you know what I mean? It's like there's some people that I work with that I'm like, it's not many, but there's a couple of people that I'm just like, no. March 20th, 2005, I worked again. March 22nd, 21 weeks, was on call to work, but I got canceled, so it was nice to chill. So yeah, 21 weeks. Oh my God, next week I'll be 6 months. That's so crazy. And yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.